Coming in at a little over a third the price of BenQ's premium offering, the Quntis computer monitor lamp claims to do nearly everything the BenQ screen bar does, even having an incredibly similar design, but at 1/3 the price, what corners were cut, and does this light have a hope of being a good alternative, or are monitor lamps only for those who can pay the big bucks? Let's find out. Disclaimer, I was sent this unit free of charge to review, but Quntis has had no say in the content of this review, and they are seeing it for the first time when you are. Let's first discuss why you might even want a monitor lamp like this. And there are a plethora of reasons to get one, from reducing eye strain to simply lighting up a keyboard that lacks backlighting, providing additional lighting for taking physical notes, or just adding a bit of style to your setup. Above all, however, it does this with practically no footprint on your desk, unlike if you were to go with a typical desk lamp, which for many desks, mine included, would be impossible. Taking the light out of its packaging reveals premium build quality all the way through. I have the unit intended for 15 to 22-inch displays, measuring 40 centimeters long. However, I used it on my 27-inch monitor with no issue, and had hardly an inferior experience. The body of the lamp is all aluminum, with a classy black finish, and while not heavy, it certainly felt durable. The front of the unit showcases icons for the 4 capacitive touch buttons on top that can control brightness, temperature, the ambient light sensor, as well as toggling the unit on and off. With round back, a USB-C port for the included braided, but a bit rough and stiff feeling, USB-C to A cable for powering the unit. The process of mounting the light bar to your monitor is relatively simple, but took me a bit longer to figure out with my angled back monitor. There is an insert piece, which you will need if you're mounting to a thinner monitor, but for my monitor, I took this off and used the counterbalance to keep it in place, which did allow it to slide around a bit if I touched it, but I just didn't touch it much. On the topic of mounting, however, monitor bezels are getting thin enough to where I should mention that you will need a little over a centimeter of space on your top bezel to properly accommodate this light, which my Asus ProArt display was on the verge of not accommodating. But this is something to keep in mind regardless of the monitor light that you buy. Finally are the 78 LEDs you're actually paying for, half of which are warm colored and the other half being cool. The positives here are that the light truly is very uniform, getting slightly brighter in the middle, but only if you look for it. And you get the option between 4 presets, or smooth control for both brightness and color temperature, by tapping or holding down on the respective buttons. Alternatively, you can leave it on auto, indicated by this small blue LED in the icon, that, using a small ambient light sensor on top, adjusts the brightness to fit changing conditions, and overall did a good job at transitioning smoothly and reading the light, even if it was a bit brighter than I might have wanted for my desk space. Note that, slightly counterintuitively, in brighter environments the light dims, and in darker environments it brightens, so as to try and keep your desk space the same brightness throughout the day, so that hopefully you forget the light is even on, which I occasionally would. I mostly use this light on a monitor where the display panel is recessed by about a centimeter, which shielded it from the light, but on my Asus display, as well as glossy displays, it avoided most of the glare, but certainly made every speck of dust and smudge very apparent. The negatives, however, are a bit more complex and technical. When it's set to its coolest color setting, the light has a noticeable green cast to it, throwing my eyes off at times, and making the setting unusable for work involving color. And in general, it kept me away from using that setting. The warm setting doesn't have the same issue, but all the settings in between will, depending on how brightly the cool LEDs are turned on. I do actually think this is a very compelling option for most people, especially when compared to BenQ's premium pricing. If you are looking into a monitor for general office work and gaming, then I like this option as someone who physically doesn't have space for any other kind of desk lamp. And it's one of those things that you sort of turn on and forget about. If you do any kind of color, photo, or video work, then ensure you either keep it on the warm setting or turn it off, which is what I did when I was doing anything color critical. And if you're not doing color work, then I would actually urge you to stay away from BenQ's offering, as for a third of the price, you get most of what you need, and with the money you saved, you could invest in bias lighting for behind your monitor, which pairs perfectly with a light like this. I'll catch you all again next time.